Hello everybody, welcome once again to another episode of Non-Scripted Ramblings. I'm Kendall Richardson. Thank you so much for joining me once more as I continue my journey through history, and what better way to celebrate 25 years of this phenomenal album by talking about the song's title track, History.
Sorry, I couldn't find that in your music.
And again, Siri is making cameos in my videos, so thank you very much for that, Siri. I'm going to take off my Apple Watch now, because Apple is not sponsoring this episode, and because, you know, if they were, the production quality would be so much better, but here we are. Oh gosh, okay, so I am, really excited to get stuck into the title track today. This is a song that has always kind of fascinated me because it's a mixture between, kind of upbeat and slow. Like it's such an interesting mix, and I would love to know the story behind like why that choice was kind of made. To do that. Like I think it sounds really great. The song was written by MJ with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis again. So it's another Jam and Lewis banger on this one. And yeah, it's another one I've always really loved, and it's funny because, you know, I've been talking through this video series how I used to hate ballads when I was a kid because I thought they were slow, but here you have this song History that is literally, the verses are all got that kind of funky rhythm to them, you know, and then the chorus is that kind of orchestral, kind of more ballady, kind of uplifting power ballad almost kind of song. So it's a bit of a mix of the two things that I love. Maybe that's why I actually like it. Like I don't think I've ever not liked this song. I think it's awesome. I would really love to know why the two different styles were kind of mixed together, but I suppose a song called History that really kind of focuses on, like, lyrically, human history, sonically as well, human history, because as I will go into shortly, there are clips from a lot of very famous people and famous events throughout history, even a young Michael Jackson himself, and, you know, so maybe a really great way to kind of explore music and the history of it is showing different styles and different sounds within the one song. So that could be why it was done that way. But I really love the verses. Those are probably my favorite, just because I really love that like hard like beat that it's got, and just the way that sounds, and then the way Michael sings the verses as well is just a really great delivery on the vocal. Really love it. Just sounds, it's so great. It's just really, really good. And the chorus is really, really nice as well. It's very catchy, very uplifting. You know, every day create your history. It's very inspirational. It's a very inspirational song, the whole thing. It's wonderful. It's definitely been, like I said, a song that I've always really liked. So I'm going to be looking slightly off camera as I look at my notes, because there is a huge list of audio and musical clips that were sampled and put into this song as Michael's way, I suppose, of recognizing what had come before him and celebrating human history in such a really interesting experience, to put it in like a brief parts of the song. Like you hear it all throughout. Like it starts in the intro, and then it goes in through like little between parts of the verses and the chorus, and then the most of it is heard during the outro that's quite long, but it's all really good. And that's also interspliced with people reading out either news reports or like positive news reports, or just like rattling off dates and saying this is what happened on this day kind of thing. And that's really, really powerful on the way all those voices overlap, and you can hear, every time I listen to the song, still to this day, I hear different little lines every time. Like I still hear the main ones that my ears are always drawn to for some reason, but if I focus hard enough, I can hear things I've never heard before, and that's really cool. But as for the list of things, we have the Charles Lindbergh report. So for those who don't know their history, their human history, Charles Lindbergh was the first person to fly non-stop from New York City to Paris back in 1927. So he worked for the US Air Mail, I believe, and he was just a nobody. And then as soon as he did this, he was one of the most famous men in America, if not the world, for a long time. So, so there's a audio report from that. There's a report on the baseballer Hank Aaron, a legendary baseballer who held a 33-year-long record for the most career home runs. He averaged like more than 20 home runs a season for a number of years. It's pretty crazy what he actually did. So so that's fantastic. Hank Aaron was also black too, which is so important. And the fact that he was that fantastic, and the fact that Michael chose to focus on a part of his career in history is really, really great. We also have Robert Kennedy's eulogy that was delivered by his brother Ted Kennedy. Lou Gehrig's farewell to baseball speech when he announced his retirement before he succumbed to the disease now known as Lou Gehrig's disease. That I think it's ALS, I'm pretty sure. He passed away very young, in his like mid-30s, I think, from that illness. It's really, really sad. So that speech is in there. There's the greetings to the children of England by the then Princess Elizabeth and her sister Princess Margaret. That would have been done in the 40s, I believe. There's also quotes in there from Muhammad Ali when he says, "I am the greatest." There's Thomas Edison saying, "I am the Edison phonograph." Like we all know, most people should know, we have Edison to thank for music, essentially, or the ability to record music is what I mean, like to actually capture it on the vinyl and on a machine, and be able to listen back to it from your home or from somewhere. Like just Edison is basically responsible for that. It's insane. So that's really important that Michael decided to include that in there as well. There's also an excerpt of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech. Amazing, super important, so incredible. A wonderful piece of American history, so important. So great to see that included. There's also Neil Armstrong's "One Small Step for Man" speech, or line I should say, from when he landed on the moon back in 1969. That's there, that's huge. There's also an excerpt of a Malcolm X speech, another important figure in American history and world history in terms of civil rights. He was incredible as well. And then there's a little excerpt of a young Michael Jackson in either 1969 or 1970. I'm not exactly sure on the year, so put it in the comments below. But it's basically says whatever I sing, that's what I mean. When I'm singing a song, I don't sing it if I don't mean it. And that's him at like the age of like 10 or 11 saying that. Like it's really, really sweet. And I love it that he kind of snuck that piece of himself in there as well. There's also music from Beethoven Lives Upstairs and The Great Gate of Kiev from Pictures at an Exhibition, which is a piece composed by Modest, I'm going to butcher this, Mussorgsky. Modest Mussorgsky, a Russian composer. That's also in there as well. So it's also really nice to see MJ's love of classical music being used as well throughout the song. So that's the list of everything that's included. There may be other things that I've missed. If so, put them below, comment. But I'm pretty sure I got them all. What else is really great about this? Boys to Men are on this song. They provide the backing vocals in I don't think it's every chorus. I think it's towards the end. You can hear their voices singing along in the chorus, and they really provide a nice richness again to the vocal, to the sound of the song, and it's really, really, really awesome. Those boys those men, they're great. Great vocalists, great singers, and yeah, it's really nice to hear them. It would have been great to like hear like a proper duet between Michael and Boyz II Men. I think that would have been really, really cool. But it's just to hear, you can, you know, hear them singing here it's really, really nice. There's also a young vocalist by the name of Leah Fraser who comes in on the last chorus and sings with Michael Jackson. She now goes by Leah Jaylene, and she actually sang Smile at a Santa Monica tribute event to Michael Jackson back in 2009, which is really awesome. And yeah, MJ discovered her through Andre Crouch, who was, you know, the leader of the Andre Crouch choir, Andre Crouch singers, that Michael had used numerous times over numerous songs during his career. And yeah, he discovered her through Andre by way of a church that she sang at and attended called Saddleback Church. So yeah, that's how she ended up appearing in this song, which is really cool. But yeah, it's epic. This song is really epic. Like, it's up there with, you know, some of the other great songs, just in terms of the meaning behind it and the inspiration behind it. Like, it's very uplifting, it's very powerful, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. It's just a huge amalgamation of history, of musical history, of sonic history, just kind of thrown in together with some great lyrics and great performance by MJ on this one, as always. Yeah, I don't really know what else I can say about history. I thought I was going to talk longer, but, you know, just reading out that list of everyone, I thought that was going to be longer, but that's okay. Oh no, I remembered a thing. Almost forgot, remembered a thing. So, history, like this version, the album version as it stands, wasn't released as a single again, but When Blood on the Dance Floor came out in 1997, which was, you know, an album that's 5 new songs, and then the remainder of which, I believe it's 8 songs. I think it was a 13-track album. I think it's 8 songs were remixes of songs from History, and History got a remix by someone by the name of Tony Moran, and there's a History remix out there that's really awesome, and it's called Tony Moran's History Lesson, and it's very 90s, it's very upbeat, it's very, you know, 90s house music. That was released as a single. It was like a double A side with Ghosts, released on the 30th of July in 1997. And yeah, it's a really great remix, actually. I really like it. Out of all of, you know, I mean, I tend to not really like remixes too much, just because I prefer the way the original songs sound, you know, and I won't get into my thoughts on the Escape album from 2014, but that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, this remix though, I really just, I don't know, I really like. I've always liked it. Like, it doesn't discount or ruin the original song, but I mean, some people might say it kind of butchers it into a cheap sounding 90s song. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know, for me, I just always thought it was very catchy. I like what Tony Moran did with it, the music he put behind it, and the way it all comes together. I really enjoy it. It's just nice. It's just a nice song to kind of bop along to. It's really good. And there was a short film release for it, a music video released, that kind of shows this girl putting on VR goggles, essentially, back in the late 90s. And she goes into this nightclub where the song is playing, and all these people are dancing, and the lights are going everywhere. It's so 90s. And then there's like all these TV screens everywhere of like, just like the song, like just kind of a mix between world events, historical events captured on film, and then there's also a lot of Michael Jackson's own history. There's pretty much every single short film up until that point there's a clip from, which is really cool. And there's also footage of Michael performing live on stage. There's like footage from the Bad tour there, there's footage from the Dangerous tour, and the 10th anniversary MTV performance as well is there. So yeah, that's really, really cool. It's just a fun song and a fun short film to go along with it. Nothing too dangerous or harmful about that. It's fine. It's good. It's joyful. It's nice. Check it out if you haven't. Yeah, I think that's it. I couldn't find the director for that video though. So if anyone knows the director, put it in the comments below, because I'm really not sure. But I just couldn't find one for some reason. But that's all right. Yeah, those are my thoughts on History, guys. The song, not the album as a whole. That video is coming soon, but yeah, that's it. That's all I've got to say. So thank you so much for watching. Next time we're back, we're going to be talking about a very interesting song on the History album by the name of Little Susie. So stay tuned for that. But until then, I've been a Kendall Richardson, and you've just experienced non-scripted ramblings.